Okay, we're doing a test videoing here. We do this to see if everything's working. Let's find out. She is, of course, such a pretty girl. She's my trophy wife. I love this little lady. Just going to circulate, do a quick vlog. All right. Kickstand up. We are working. Dropping her into gear. And given the turning radius of this machine, we will have to do a couple of shots at it. And then, as I've said many times before, I kind of have to give it a little caution coming out onto the street, because going up to the into the block here is very blind. You just can't see up that corner and around the street. But being in the neighborhood here is good as far as your first few first quarter mile or half mile riding the bike. Ooh, cool car. Whoa, cool car. Nice. Bright blue Lexus. Jeez. So, because it gets you acclimatized and you can scoot yourself around on the bike to get into the position that you're likely going to use riding. And it's not a bad way to first hop on. You don't have to leap right out into traffic right away and be aware of all the things about you. I'm listening to some music in the background. I don't think this stuff typically carries into what I record at any sort of discernible level. Ooh, nice. Let's just go right through the middle. Boom, boom. Did it. Perfect timing. Thank you, Mr. Volvo, for making that possible. So now we can move along, and we're very comfortable with doing so. We'll scrub the tires a bit. And I'm going to flop the shield down here when I get around the corner. Talk about some luck, man. I've hit every green light, the open gate. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is ours. Haven't been on the bike for a while, so taking it easy. And the purpose of this vlog is to explain a couple of weeks of absence and what is going on in my life. And I debated, I'm going to preface this by saying I debated whether I should share this or not, because it's personal, but it's silly to think that way, because it affects literally millions of men around the world. And since my channel is composed mainly of men, oh phooey, not going to make this one, I don't think, nope, let's say men and their significant others, or people that love men, and even those that don't have male significant others and are not men, can relate to this as far as it concerns their own, their own relatives. So a lot of get to the point, Gary. So what's going on for me is that I have prostate cancer. So we'll get that right out there right away. And what I'm going to remark about prostate cancer and prostate issues is that it's highly prevalent, especially after you get to a certain age, And I think the statistics run something like 3 in 5 men are going to experience prostate issues in their life. By the way, I hope the view ahead is good here. So I have lived a relatively healthy life in terms of how many brushes I've had with the medicos one way or another. And comes to this stage, and I was diagnosed, first of all, with having issues, and then after an MRI imaging study, it was determined, and a biopsy, it was determined that it is a cancer. If there's any good news associated with that, I love people that say, oh, good news, it's not a bad cancer. I think the best news would be no cancer at all. You make your call on that, let me know. So after the biopsy returned positive cancer, there's a thing called the Gleason scale, and I'm relatively low on the Gleason scale. My worst score on the Gleason scale, if you follow those sorts of things, is a 7. I'm a 6 on the Gleason scale. So, but it does mean I have to do something. They would normally, I think if they were all 6s or under 6s on the biopsy, they would say, we're going to wait, we'll check you in a year, we'll come back in a year. Which, going through another biopsy would not necessarily be all that welcome of news for me, I have to say. But, so I have to do something. And it's going to occupy me more or less for the foreseeable future. And there are 2 routes, 2 choices that I need to select from as to how I handle this. Choice number 1 is called a radical prostatectomy. And while the word radical always sounds a little bit scary, but it just means that they remove your prostate. And nowadays, living as we are in the San Diego area, we have great access to health care, and that is done via robotic, essentially scissors. The scissors are guided by robots as the physician looks and points them based upon the images that they have for your prostate and its location. And they do that, and they try to be careful, of course, and the cure rate is very high. It's in the 90, they call it 5-year mortality, I think, and it's in the 94-95% plus range. There are complications, but there are complications with my second choice, which is radiation. Now, radiation is not an invasive, as much of an invasive procedure. They do plant little pointers inside you to guide the radiation beams as they direct them at your prostate. So you do have some things, you do get inserted, I guess is the way to put it. And that process is not a surgical procedure, let's say, per se. They don't actually cut you open, and they don't actually cut you open with the prostatectomy either. They do that with a I guess the term is, and all you guys out there that are medicos and know a little more about this, you can correct any part of what I'm saying. Laparoscopy, which means they make a few small incisions and use the guided robot to find its way around your innards as they cut out that part of you. Let's see, can I not have to stop before? Yes. Hey, that's not bad. That's how well balanced this machine is. So, oh, we got a fuel light. So, you don't end up with big surgical scars. However, they are putting things inside you and taking a thing out of inside you. So it is a surgery for the prostatectomy. The radiation is exactly as it sounds. They use guided beam radiation and go after your prostate via that methodology. Now, here's the wild card on the radiation. and that is you've got to be eligible for it. That is your, I guess, your cancer area and its size and your physical condition, etc., all have to be correct for said radiation therapy. So I have met with the surgical oncologist so far. Where am I? Where am I in all this process? Gary, get to the point. Dragging it on. And I don't want to. I'm not happy about this, by the way. I don't know why any one person would be happy. But the fact is that I've met with the surgical oncologists. They're called oncologists. And he has related to me that he has very good outcomes, and he feels that I am a candidate for that procedure, and that it's quite likely that I do very well, both during and after the procedure. The sacrifice I make there is a total of about a month to 6 weeks of recovery, and there's potential for complications beyond. Those may or may not be the best things to have on a motorcycle, let alone any other sporting endeavor that you might want to indulge in. The radiation does have some complications. You can have, as in the surgery, some urinary incontinence issues, but they tend to be less so. And therefore, many people, I'm finding out by talking to my friends, and you may find out if you talk to your friends, and if you're of a certain age, you will be surprised at how many of your friends, if you can bring yourself to have this conversation, you will be surprised at how many of your friends have issues, A, and B, have gone through some sort of a treatment. You're going to be surprised. It's a very, very common thing, especially beyond a certain age. So right now I'm leaning to, and by the way, I understand you can actually be fairly active while you're undergoing the radiation treatments, that you can carry on with your activities. So that has an appeal. Where am I personally in all this right now? What's my current opinion? Well, quite honestly, my current opinion is I lean towards the prostatectomy. I lean towards having it removed. There is the finality of, if it's gone, it can't give you any more troubles, supposedly. And the fact that it's sort of a one and done deal. The radiation treatments may actually go on for weeks, if not months. And you may have to take some hormone therapy, which is a way they have of dampening down your prostate activity while they do this radiation. But I don't know any of that yet. I'm going to meet the radiation oncologist in about 3 weeks' time, 2 to 3 weeks' time. And he will hopefully then inform me where I am on the spectrum of people who need to have this treatment done. And what is going to happen is that sometime in mid-July, right around my birthday this year, I will be getting treatment for prostate cancer, either via the prostatectomy or the radiation, as I mentioned. And as I do that, I may or may not be able to do a lot of the fun activities that I do, including vlogging or even necessarily riding on a motorcycle. But here's my pledge to you, gang. I struggled a bit with whether I should share this or not. And I've decided that it is such a common issue, maybe I can be of informational service to my fellow men who may themselves one day have to undergo a treatment of some sort. And I've decided that's for the greater good, and I'm going to share all that as I go through it. And I will share that slow. Well, this truck is slow, so that guy's following the sign. So I will share that with my listeners and let you know how it goes, and let you know my feelings, what my physical experience is, and through the entire deal. It will be a separate vlog stem from what I do via the motorcycles and other activities that I'm involved in. So there's my pledge to you. There's the background story. That's what's going to happen. That's what's kept me busy and occupied. And I remain optimistic that this will be taken care of and allow me to be around for a long number of years to come. And there's a nice guy, gave me a nice wave, and I will stay in touch. So with that having been said, please comment, let me know what you think. Do you have any particular experience? Have I gotten some of the salient facts wrong in what I've been saying? Oh, let's get by this dude or dudette. Yes, we are going to get by him. Ha ha! Watch out for a car coming from the side. We did it. Over and out. By the way, let's just sit back. I'm going to make a second segment here. Let's just sit back and watch this bike go. Short jaunt around the neighborhood. Epilogue to a ride. While I face my struggles, I dedicate this vlog to a young man named Jake McCollum. I've just found out from Tom that this young fellow lost his life doing what he loved to do, riding his Panigale. And we used to have a saying back when I was racing. When somebody was lost, we would say, "Godspeed, Jake McCollum." And that we meant, and we do so for Jake as well. So dedicated to Jake McCollum. And you motorcycle riders out there, ride safe and be aware that we do have some risks to face. Best wishes. Talk to you later.